Imagine being put on bed rest, you have a high-risk pregnancy, and you ask your in-laws to drive you to an appointment, and they say no. And these are the same in-laws that you have allowed free access into your home. They get to be with your kids all the time. You take them on vacations, and they say no. But that's not the confusing part to me, and I'll tell you why in just a second. Things started to shift when she got pregnant for the 4th time, and they were doing something, they announced it, and instead of being elated and happy, her in-laws said, "How could you have allowed this to happen again?" A few months passed, she was put on bed rest because she was a high-risk pregnancy, and she was put under the care of a specialist. Well, she kept her in-laws updated, asked if they would be on call in case she needed their help, and one day she had an appointment, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, that walk in from the parking lot from my car, that's going to be too much." So she called her in-laws and said, "Hey, I have an appointment this week. Would one of you be able to give me a ride?" And they said, "No, I'm so sorry, we can't. We are actually watching our daughter's children." She was shocked. I mean, she was so disappointed, but definitely shocked because she asked them to be on call and they never told her these plans at all. So she decided to call back and say, "Well, I'm kind of disappointed that you never told me these plans." And her father-in-law got upset, like kind of annoyed, and said, "Honey, we don't have to announce our plans to you. We're not obligated to tell you our life." But that's not it. The mother-in-law called the husband and said, "She's acting very entitled." This listener did not have a close relationship with her mom. So when she got married, she knew, being raised by grandparents, that she wanted her children to have a very close, special bond with her in-laws. And that's what she's created. She calls for their advice. She asks for their opinion. So now she's writing in super confused because she's like, "I thought we really had something special. Now it feels like it's just a completely different relationship than what I thought." First of all, you did build something so special. And I feel so bad that all of this kind of came out sideways when you are dealing with a high-risk pregnancy. So I do have some insight, but I want you to know lots of in-laws on here right now are going to be like, "Wow, like, what a great, can we adopt you?" It sounds like you and your in-laws might be experiencing this relationship a little bit differently. We all go into relationships with our own history, our own needs, our own preferences, but none of those things are really talked about out loud. Reading your letter, I wonder if your in-laws have been quietly overwhelmed for a while, but they just haven't had either the tools or capacity or the words to figure out how to communicate how they're feeling to you in a calm manner. And when that happens, sometimes things can build up and then it comes out in a sideways fashion, kind of like it did, and it can hurt a lot worse, and it can be something a lot bigger than it had to, or than it has to be, if you could have just had a conversation when they first started to feel overwhelmed. Again, you weren't doing anything wrong. You thought you were keeping everything open, keeping them very involved, and they may have just been experiencing the requests or the invitations just a tiny bit differently. So here's what I would do. I think you do have a really beautiful relationship. I think you are an amazing daughter-in-law. I would just let everything calm down. Everybody get some air, and then bring everybody over. Kids go, somewhere else, have them play somewhere. And then I think you guys should just have a sit-down conversation and just talk about where everybody is at. Don't talk about the appointment. Don't talk about placing blame. Just talk about, how are you feeling with the relationship? And just calmly talk things out. I think you will be surprised how easy it gets once everyone is just allowed to communicate in a very calm fashion. So I really don't look at this like a rupture. I look at this more like a reset. Good luck on the rest of your pregnancy. I hope the delivery goes very safe and smooth.